Jeff, where's Jeff? Jeff here?
Yes.
Oh, there he is, over there. We were doing some group training down in Ada at the home office yesterday, and just had a lot of great people in the room. And well, you know, Legalshield has been an amazing journey for me and my wife. And I live in Pennsylvania, southern Lancaster County. So if you're a little bit of a Lancaster County twang, that's probably what that is. But you're all country people out here for the most part, right?
Yes.
I said to you, we had a breakfast this morning with Performance Club folks, and everybody's so friendly out here. I mean, I don't know, something about the Northeast. We're a bunch of stuffy people up there, you know. But we need a little more of your friendliness. But it's been a great stay. I got to stay at the corporate office up in the it's called the Rick Haney Suite, and just a beautiful view, and just to be able to meet the staff at the home office again. I've been out there several times. It's always good to see what's behind the scenes and see the amazing staff we have there. But I know we have some visitors in the room that maybe somebody invited you out here today to take a look at Legalshield. Really, I just want to thank you and appreciate you for taking your time to come out and evaluate our company. And you know, if you're a guest, you know, I know sometimes when we come to these types of things, you're like a little skeptical. I know I was, you know, when I first learned about Legalshield 6 years ago. I just wasn't quite sure, you know, what to make of it. But as I really did my own research and looked at the credibility of the company, it made a lot of sense to me. It might make sense to you, it might not, and it's okay if it doesn't. We're just glad you're here. What I do know is whoever invited you out also invited you because they know you know some people. And even if this isn't for you, or you don't really, Legalshield isn't a fit for you, you may know somebody that you could refer to the person that invited you out. And because, you know, people, you know, we're all dealing with the challenges in everyday life, and things come up, and Legalshield really is a company that addresses a lot of those things that we might deal with on a daily basis. And I'll explain kind of how that works. But I got started with Legalshield really just because I saw a lot of value in the service, and also you know, from a business perspective, I was a business owner at the time, running an excavation company with my dad and brother back in Pennsylvania, and was just beating my body up and working long hours, and I saw an opportunity here where I could maybe work a little smarter, you know, less hard on my body running heavy equipment, and maybe help people out with getting their wills done, and a great service that they could use every single day. So I got started really on a part-time basis, and just able to go out and share a lot of great information with people. And the same information I'm going to share with you was shared with me by my sister's mother-in-law, Sally. She had shared this information with me. And my dad always told me, he's like, you know, Davey, only he can call me Davey, by the way. He says the hardest thing to open is a closed mind. And so I was like, you know what, I'll take a look at this Legalshield thing. That's kind of was my attitude. Because it never hurts to look into things. You know, don't always know what you're not interested in if you just don't take a look at it. So I'm going to get right into the presentation and kind of just show you a few things about Legalshield. What we're going to go over today is who we are, what we do, and why so many people are joining us right now. Whether they're joining us from a business perspective, maybe they're an insurance agent saying, you know what, I want to offer this to my clients, or maybe they're a stay-at-home mom saying, you know what, I got a lot of girlfriends that just, you know, people that I know that are going through some situations, and maybe they're joining us from a business perspective saying, I think I could really share this and join the referral program of this company and be able to share this information. Some people are joining us just strictly from a membership, from a professional service standpoint, because they see the value in getting their will prepared, protecting their identity, or whatever it may be that appeals to them. I know personally, I work with a lot of companies, and a lot of times we go and work with employees. Employees want it just for on a personal level, you know, to have it from a service standpoint. So we have a lot of people that are excited about where we're going and what we're doing for the market. You know, as I go through the presentation, I want you to just think of these, just a few things. These are some of the more relevant things maybe in our lives. Don't just think of this for yourself, though. Think of it for others, like people you know who maybe have signed contracts, people you know that they've cried on your shoulder. They've talked to you about how they were overcharged or ripped off or put under that proverbial bus, you know? People that you know who've received a traffic ticket, and maybe your foot's a little heavy. You know, identity theft, you know, 30-some thousand victims a day, 36,000 victims a day, just crazy. Maybe you've been it yourself. Or maybe you know somebody or yourself, you've been in a situation where you thought the advice of an attorney might be useful. You know, the situation is defined as any time the use of an attorney could better the outcome of that situation. So it doesn't mean that you're ever in trouble or going to jail or anything illegal. It just might mean, you know, you're living life and life happens. And I'll explain what I mean by that. These these are just some of the things that we do for our members. What I love about Legalshield, I carry this little card in my wallet. I won't dig it out because I've got this thing all hooked up and everything. Am I even hooked up? Am I even on? Okay, you can hear me. Okay. I don't even know if I turned it on.
We hear you.
I'm just talking loud. All right, good. But it's really cool. You carry this little card in your wallet, and that card gives you access to this huge army of attorneys. So for this small little monthly fee, I give my members access to attorneys. In fact, with some of my members, they pay for 1 year of this service. Some attorneys charge for 1 hour. So it's a really unique service. And we really stress, how do we take out the stress of people's lives? How do we eliminate the stress, and how do we help people live worry-free lives? Check out the video.
For more than 40 years, Legalshield has been revolutionizing the legal services industry. Revolutionizing the legal services industry? That doesn't quite capture the personal, lasting impact we have made and continue to make on thousands of individuals' lives. Imagine having an everyday concern or question where getting the advice of an attorney would be useful. Imagine the trauma of discovering that you are the victim of identity theft. Imagine encountering a situation where the advice of an attorney is absolutely imperative. Now imagine addressing all that stress with one phone call. That's what we do for you at Legalshield. You can speak to an attorney without the worry of having to pay an attorney's typical fees. And together with our identity theft services, we provide you with a shield that results in powerful peace of mind. We were founded in 1972 by Harlan Stonecipher. He had just endured his own stressful, costly encounter with the legal system after a car accident that was not his fault. He was determined to make legal protection available to everyone, everywhere. Today, we have evolved into the force for good that Mr. Stonecipher originally envisioned. Based in Ada, Oklahoma, we have approximately 700 employees with a customer service team of more than 300. All focused on calibrating the efforts of our dedicated law firms and approximately 6,900 attorneys in the United States and Canada. Each law firm is there for our members, providing the legal help they need when they need it. So, for one low monthly membership fee, you can pick up the phone to call an attorney and get advice about any issue. We provide these legal services to families all across North America, answering approximately 40,000 calls per week for members. That's right, 40,000 times a week. We help smooth out the knots, kinks, and inconveniences in our members' lives. The attorneys at our law firms average 19 years of experience and have been partnering with us an average of 13 years. They are friendly, warm, and dedicated to helping Legalshield members. And just as we partner with an expert law firm for every state, we also partner with Kroll Advisory Solutions, the world-renowned leader in identity theft protection. That way, no matter what issue you might face, you're getting the help you need with Legalshield. What we do is simple. We work hard to make your life less complicated, less stressful, and more fulfilling. That's why with Legalshield, you can worry less and live more.
So just some statistics, over 2 million requests annually, and this is just a snapshot of what our Life Events Legal Plan does for our 1.4 million members, which constitutes to about over 4 million people. That's 1.4 million families are protected under our plans. I want to just kind of back up a little bit, because being a country boy growing up in Lancaster County, Pennsylvania, I never, there was always a disconnect for me. And as I grew older, I noticed Dad never used attorneys. In fact, when he did a few times, one time he was sued and he spent a lot of money defending himself. I was always conditioned not to use attorneys because of the high hourly costs, and attorneys are bad, and that was kind of this, it was kind of a disconnect there. And I often, wondered why that was, growing up. But then as I got older and had a family and needed a will, and I owned part of the business at that point too, I started to realize that life did become more and more full of stresses. And once I really began working with Legalshield, I realized that we have such a valuable proposition. Because if you take the mega rich and you take the everyday people like me and maybe you, a lot of us are on the wrong side of the law, because you have two sides of the law. And you don't have to do anything illegal or bad or wrong to be on the wrong side of the law. You simply just can't afford it. I mean, growing up, Dad couldn't afford $200 an hour. And so he got himself in situations where it probably cost him a lot more money. But when I looked at the mega rich and the Donald Trumps and the Oprah Winfreys and the Tiger Woods and whoever it might be that has millions of dollars, they can afford to retain law firms and attorneys. And therefore, that puts them on the right side of the law. Therefore, they get ahead quicker. That's why the rich get richer, folks. It's because they use the law to their advantage in a positive way. And so when Legalshield came into my life, I started to look at things completely different. And I started to be able to call an attorney about any of these situations, or just making good decisions, having contracts reviewed. And a lot of times now, you know, when I have it, I just make a phone call. But prior to Legalshield, Gina and I, my wife of 13 years, we would find ourselves in situations just confused and frustrated. And, you know, to give you an example, we, you know, one of the things up there you see, it says letters and calls. Well, we were in a situation with a phone company. We were moving, and if you're staying for my training later, you're going to hear that story. But we were moving, and she canceled the landline, my wife did. And the phone company wanted to charge her a $300 disconnect fee. And I was just like, this is crazy. They were threatening to send it to a collection agency, which was going to hurt my credit score. So my wife, and ladies, let me tell you, she loves this thing. She loves Legalshield because she does all the bills and everything in the house. She takes her card out, she calls the law firm, they call her back in about 3 hours, a contractual attorney, and answer her questions. And they said, Mrs. Spangler, we're going to write a letter on your behalf. And they simply wrote this letter. Now, I don't know what this letter would have cost prior to Legalshield, $400 or $500 plus the consultation, who knows? But the letter went out, and 3 weeks later, she gets a phone call from the phone company, and their answer is, Mrs. Spangler, this is our legal department, ABC phone company. We reviewed the letter from your law firm. In interest of time, we're going to waive the $300 fee. We're sorry for the inconvenience, and when you move back to the area, we hope we can do business. And it's like, you know that's the first letter they open. When that gets in their mailbox and they see it's from a law firm, you know, when you get a letter from an attorney, that's the first letter you open.
That's all right.
Because that gets people's attention. But not only that, ladies and gentlemen, I think it's safe to say Oklahoma's a pretty conservative state. You know, part of the, they said, somebody said buckle the Bible Belt or something like that. We are too. You know, I live in Amish territory. No, I'm not Amish. I've got 4 kids. I'm not Amish. Yes, my suit is black, but I'm not wearing the hat. I'm half Amish. Amish have 8 kids. I have 4. But we grew up in this like super conservative area. Look, ladies and gentlemen, we're not about going around pushing our rights and being all powerful and mighty, right? I'm just about accountability. I want that company that was trying to take advantage of us to be held accountable. That's right. Because we live in a society that seriously lacks accountability. In 1972, when Harlan Stonecipher founded Legalshield, he created accountability factor. He put the power back in the pocket of the everyday American person's pocket. That's right.
That's right.
And now I've got the power. Now I've got the power to create accountability, live a better life, and make better decisions. Absolutely.
Yep.
So that's just an example of how I use the letter on my behalf. We do consultation, contract review. Before you sign anything, you know, I was talking to a guy, and he's like, no, you talk about conservative area, and I don't know if any of you have ever come against this, but he's like, no, we don't want to offer Legalshield to our employees because it's not in line with our core values of our company. And I'm like, what? Core values of your company? What are you talking about? Yeah. He's a, you know, quote unquote Christian company or whatever. I don't know. I'm a Christian, you know. And he's like, well, we don't want to, you know, because his ideal was attorneys are bad. And I said to him, I said, sir, can I ask you a question? He said, sure. I said, do your employees ever sign contracts? He's like, oh, sure they do. They buy houses. They sell cars. They buy cars, you know. I said, who wrote the contract that your employee's signing? He's like, the company's attorney, the other company's attorney. I said, that's right. Doesn't it make a great deal of sense to empower your employees to have their attorney review that contract in their best interest?
That's
right. And you know what? He just like, he's like, oh, I never thought of it that way. So we're just about educating people. We just got to show them what it is and how it works. He never thought of it that way. So we do that contract review, online legal forms. I mean, just hundreds of forms, will preparation. You know, we front load our membership with so much value, and I'm not going to hype this up. Look, for the will alone, when I share this with somebody, or if you're a guest in the room and you don't have a will or it's outdated, for the will alone, it's worth it. That's right. Because what you'll pay for a will out there in the street with an attorney is going to be anywhere between $500 to $1,500.
Yep.
We front load our membership. We have so much confidence in our service. It's been around for over 40 years that we give you an initial will, a standard will, healthcare directive, and living will right up front, just for trying out our benefit. It's what we call a no-brainer. Much more use value than the few pennies or the few dollars that our members invest. That is a high return on investment. In fact, Legalshield for me over the last 6 years has saved my wife and I over $6,000 just in different situations like the phone company, warranty issues we used before. I got a speeding ticket. Speeding tickets.
Oh yeah.
It's helped me away. But it saved us. Look, it's not the money you spend; it's the money you keep.
That's right.
And 6 years ago, when I looked at Legalshield, I was thinking another expense. That's what I was thinking. But when I started to use it and I got my will done, I'm thinking it's an investment because of the money it saves me. I save so much more money than I spend to have the membership. So, you know, it's a great asset in my life. It's a great life management tool. Traffic-related issues. For the guests in the room, to kind of explain our network of attorneys, we have attorneys all over the country, over 6,000. And so, like, if you get a ticket in another state, we're there. We have your back. And we work as a network. Okay. So if you have multi-state identity theft going on, you know, things happen in different states. We've got attorneys in all those states that can come together to work on your behalf to put your life back in order. Okay. When I got a ticket in Ohio, I had I made a call in Pennsylvania to get my attorney lined up, and then they lined everything else up. An Ohio attorney went to court for me, and they were able to eliminate the fine and keep 3 points off my license, just because we had that network of attorneys, and I didn't pay anything other than a few dollars a week that I pay to have the benefit. So just for that one ticket alone, it saved me $166 because it was the pilot of the plane that got me going 20 over with a bunch of other people. He wasn't in the courtroom, and the attorney pointed that out. Now, would I have known that? No, because I'm not an attorney. But Tony, my attorney from Alden Law, he tied this real southern drawl. He comes out, he's on his way out of the courtroom, calls me up on his cell phone, and he's like, "Hey Dave, good news. We got the whole thing thrown out." I said, "Tony, what did you say?" He says, "Man, we have our ways." Seriously, I mean, Donald Trump would have got an attorney, but everyday man doesn't get an attorney. So, it's just a way you can utilize the services. I would have paid the fine, I just didn't want the points, but somehow he got the fine thrown out, so I wasn't going to complain. It's just some other services there I don't have time to get into. Again, for the will alone, we bring such value. Just for consultation and advice, we bring so much value. So this is covered. It's considered a family plan. I like the fact that when I added my youngest child a few years ago, that my price didn't go up on my plan. It's rate stable. We've never raised the rates on existing members. And the whole family's covered. Teenage drivers, college students. How many here went to college? Well, we all know how college is. Yeah. You want your kids covered under a legal plan. Things happen at college, right? I'm gonna save some time here, and I want to jump right to the identity theft part of what we do. We have just a very, very comprehensive service. We partner with a company called Kroll. We have an exclusive partnership with Kroll. Kroll is actually the same company that, for instance, they worked for the Kuwaiti government back in the day to help the Kuwaiti government track down Saddam Hussein's financial network. Kroll works for big companies, they work for countries, but they also work for individuals like you and I. And we have an exclusive agreement that when one of our individual members has an identity theft situation, Kroll is going to go in and assist our member and do pretty much most of the restoration. Now, there's some preliminary things that our member needs to do to get that ball rolling, okay? But for the most part, instead of spending the average 600 hours to fix your identity in major cases, as what the statistics are, Kroll is going to go in and do the restoration for you. We give you a credit report, we give you a daily monitoring service that looks for like change of address, because sometimes we get our neighbor's mail, and sometimes our neighbor gets our mail. And it's one of those credit card offers. You want your neighbor to make sure that he gives the mail back to you, but if he doesn't and he just forges your name, sends that credit card offer into Visa or wherever it might be, you think they're going to make the payments? Whose credit score does it affect? Yours. So one of the things is we check for change of address and public records, and it's really cool. When I moved in 2009, I get this alert like a few days later, and I go into because I'm a member, and I go in and see what the alert is. And I kind of knew it was me, but I thought, I will check it out anyway. And I printed this thing out. It says, activity type other address, the date I changed it, and my new address, where we moved to temporarily. So it just kind of gives you an example of how proactive Legalshield is for our members. They invest their few pennies a day to protect their identities and their good name and their children's good names, because we do a child identity theft as well. We protect children's identity theft. It's working for you every single day. Yep. So people aren't throwing their money away. They're seeing it work for them. They're getting their monitoring every month, even if nothing's going on. Right. They still send you that email letting you know, hey, nothing's going on. There's been no activity. So it's just a great part. There's some other additional services we do, like Social Security skip trace. They're searching 34 billion records of people maybe using your Social Security number. Like one lady had 37 different people using her number to have jobs. The IRS was after her for over $1 million in back taxes because she wasn't paying her taxes. It's called Social Security identity theft. Medical identity theft is another form. Reader's Digest, ID thieves new target your medical records. So what they're doing is they're taking our information and getting treatment, emergency treatment, surgeries. Character criminal identity theft. I'm sure some of you have heard of the lady in California, school teacher all her life, retired, school teaching. Went to apply for had to work at a daycare job just to keep her busy. And they said, ma'am, you can't work here. She was well known in the community. She was confused. Why can't I work here? They said, we can't have somebody with 6 counts of prostitution on their record working with our children. And so she had to get an attorney involved to begin to prove her innocence and get that expunged from her record. So you can see why identity theft often becomes a legal situation. So that's why we kind of marry the two services together. And again, we can answer any questions after the presentation on some of those details. But you can see here the differences. Premium identity theft does extra things as far as monitoring and lost wallet assistance and those types of things. So it really is up to you what fits you best. You know, if you're evaluating this for yourself. These are the different plans and how they break down. By far, this is our most popular plan. It's price pointed right. Again, what I pay for a whole year of this, some attorneys charge for 1 hour. So if I use it once a year, and just think about that. Next year, if you make one important decision, would you all agree we make a lot of decisions in the year's time? Yes. Big and small, and those decisions have a direct outcome on where our life goes and how things work out. Imagine being able to make all those decisions by simply first talking to an attorney and saying, hey, I'm looking at this piece of real estate. What do you recommend I do? Well, Dave, here's what you need to do. Go to the courthouse, print out these documents, fax them over to me, and I'll review them for you. Now, this has happened to me. And he's like, Dave, you can buy this piece of property. This is my attorney telling me, a real estate attorney. You can buy the property, but you've got a lien against it in New Jersey. You've got taxes that haven't been paid between these such and such years, and he's giving me advice. You know, I backed off and I didn't buy the property. You know, that saved me thousands of dollars because I could have got into a real mess. That is the power of having an attorney. So again, I used it one time that 1 year, and I just paid for my whole year. Yep. And if you think you're going to use this one time in the next year, then your answer should be yes. It's going to be an asset to your life. It's going to be a value to your life. Just needing your will, it's going to be a value to your life. But if you don't see the value and you don't think you need a will and you don't think you need to have all that, then your answer should be no. You shouldn't get this plan. I mean, if you're a guest, you shouldn't get the plan if you don't see how it's going to bring tremendous value to your life. So I tell you, I'm excited. You can tell I'm excited about it, right? Because of the money it saves my members. I can show you all the different plans, but I'm not going to confuse you with all that. But they're probably the most economical plan, the most popular plan. But again, you want all the bells and whistles, Cadillac, it's amazing what that can do. So I want to talk about, now that I've kind of shared a little snapshot of the services, I want to talk about what we do from an educational perspective in helping families understand what we have and how the company compensates us. So just some questions you can ask yourself. Who do you know who has children? Again, who do you know that maybe has had their identity compromised, owns a business, because we help small business owners out with our plans. We help them protect and grow their businesses, and even the whole will. I mean, 70% of people don't have a will. So as I go through this portion of the presentation, I want you to think about, not yourself, but who do you know that could benefit from our service, from our professional service, the Legal Shield or Identity Theft Shield.
Whatever success story you envision for yourself, it can begin by offering Legal Shield. Whether you want additional income, want to set your own hours, or just want to help the people around you, Legal Shield is the opportunity for you. But what makes Legal Shield stand out even more? The fact that the Legal Shield associates are genuinely proud of the product they offer. The feeling of satisfaction they get from empowering their friends, family, and community. The knowledge that by sharing Legal Shield with someone, they're making a positive impact in that person's life by offering the ability to speak to an attorney about any issue without worrying about the cost. Legal Shield is your chance to make real money while also making a real difference in people's lives. That's something to be proud of.
They're getting basically a law firm at their beck and call. It's a really powerful product to have. They're able to get their questions answered. It doesn't matter what the question is about. It doesn't matter what area of law they've got questions about. They're able just to call and get that answered. They're able to get their contracts and documents reviewed. So before signing anything, having the power. I think that's a really powerful thing, is to have an attorney review a contract before you sign it.
With Legalshield, you aren't alone. Learning a new product can be confusing, but Legalshield makes it as easy as possible to hit the ground running. As a new Legalshield associate, you'll receive a starter kit specifically designed to help you jumpstart your business, complete with startup materials, training, and other information so you can get started immediately. And with over 40 years in business, the company knows how to set associates up to succeed.
There's this great saying is that you're in business for yourself, but you're not in business by yourself. And that's what I love is the support. You know, you have great support, mentorship every step of the way, and that's why I like the infrastructure because it's incentivized to really help those that want it and that are looking to grow and get ahead.
But Legalshield support doesn't end at startup. Legalshield also offers extensive training and sales tools along the way, with plenty of online resources and sales materials to help drive your success. Plus, you can join the exciting community of Legalshield associates ready to help each other along the way. Participate in seminars, business briefings, trips, and more as you build your team and your business.
It's absolutely a blast. It really is, because you get to build relationships that you would just, there's so many people that I know now that I would never have known before if it wasn't for this wonderful opportunity, which I believe is more of a career than an opportunity. We have friends across the country that we pick up and speak with at any given time. Our conventions are like a family reunion. The trips that we go on is the same. We can't wait to enjoy each other's company at different locations. And all of this while business continues to grow, while families are continued to be helped and empowered. It's just a wonderful feeling.
So Legalshield offers a great product with a proven track record of success, comprehensive startup assistance, and even a fun and vibrant community to help you grow your business and achieve your goals. But even better, you don't have to invest an arm and a leg to begin offering the product. In fact, you can get started with Legalshield for just $149, and the benefits can be substantial. And right now, nearly 90% of working Americans say they are without legal protection. That's a lot of potential customers and potential income, too.
As I really came to understand it better, I realized this could be a transition of a career, and it allows me to be at home full time. So my two daughters have really never known me to work outside the home because of Legalshield.
It's a very fulfilling profession, because really everywhere you look, you're helping people. You're helping people protect themselves and giving them access to a system that usually they're financially locked out of. You're helping people build a business that otherwise they wouldn't have had an opportunity potentially to build, because there's such a small investment to get started with such a high return. So your margins are incredible. And you're being able to coach people, life lessons, teach people how to succeed. And how does it ever get any better than that?
With an amazing product like Legalshield, dreams really do come true. So start writing your success story and start offering Legalshield today.
So we have, I didn't see this slide. Yeah, do that in.
We can cover that later in the training if you want. We got some videos.
Okay, all right, great. Basically, for those, they didn't have that promotion when I got started. It's a pretty cool promotion. I will tell you, the investment for people that want to join our referral program, and I just want to put this out there because I know we have guests in the room. I was a real busy guy. I didn't have time I didn't think I had time. But it's kind of weird though, because I realized if I didn't start doing something different in my life, I was probably never gonna have time. If that makes sense, for my kids and for freedom and all that. I mean, I was running my own business, but I was still kind of married to that business. And so being real busy, I was working 60, 70 hours a week. It was crazy. But I thought, you know what? I got people that I know could use this, and I paid. I think then I paid $249. That's a one-time fee that I paid in order to get background check, and they put you in the system so they can send you a 1099 each year if you make over $600. And so that's just part of the structure that we have. But I thought it was a joke in a way when I heard how much it was, because I just invested $125,000 to buy my dad's clientele in the traditional business. So my brother and I had spent all this money, over $100,000, to get in business. And then I found, Sally, my sister's mother-in-law, she's like really shy, older lady. She's like, yeah, it's only $249. And I'm like, seriously? Like, that's what, we pay for paper towels and toilet paper for our bathroom. Yeah. I'm not sure. It's like, that's just because where my mind was as a business owner. And I was just blown away. And I'm like, you're telling me I'm getting 700 employees, a huge corporate structure with all these employees working for me, all this support in the field. Practically, I'm getting my own franchise, and I'm not paying $1 million or $200,000. I was it just didn't commute to me. But it was a high return, low investment, but high return potential. So I got started very part time. So for you busy people in the room, we're designed for busy people. And for those people in the room, maybe that are looking at this, Dave, I'm not really a sales guy. Well, you don't have to be. There's a business owner back in my area. His name's Jim. He has 2 businesses. He became a Legalshield associate, just like many of us in the room. He didn't have time. He's running 2 businesses, but he referred me to people. And he's like, hey, Dave, you need to talk to Ed, a buddy of mine that I went to high school with, because he's got 80 employees and he owns a car dealership. Talk to Ed about this. So he made the warm introduction. Ed's like, sure, I'll talk to you. We sat down, we talked to Ed. Ed's like, why wouldn't I want to offer this to my employees? So we went in and we wrote, I don't know, we helped 46 people out of 60-some that we presented to. And I gave Jim, the guy that got me in the door, I gave him half of the applications of the people that signed up. He made $2,200. He didn't know how to do a presentation. He didn't know anything about Legalshield hardly. He just got started, but he referred me in to a buddy of his that had contacted a lot of people. So you see what I mean? Yep. Like, it's all different facets of this business. And that's why I want you to keep an open mind as you look at this for yourself. Income time, I don't know, there's so many ways, because it allows you to dictate what you're doing. It allows you to dictate your time. It allows you to work with who you want to work with and be basically your own CEO. The business that I've built is my business. I can sell it someday. I can will it to my children. And I'm basically the captain of my ship when it comes to building my business. I'm not being leveraged through somebody else, if that makes sense. Freedom, I don't know, trying to give an example. Like sometimes, I might sit down with somebody in the morning and show them the benefit, or I might sit down at lunch with somebody and make $250 over my lunch. Not a bad day, really. Or I might show 10 employees this, or 20 employees and 10 get it. I have an $1,800 morning. Not a bad morning. I can go home and maybe take a little time with the kids. See what I mean? It kind of what it does is it collapses time for you.
Leverage. Yep.
I have friends who do this on a part-time basis, and they'll sit down in their lunch break and make $120 commission from our company because they referred the service and their friend got it on the lunch break. And they'll make more or the same, $120 in a lunch break, than they will all day working 10 hours making $12 an hour. And they'll make the same amount in 30 minutes. That can create some freedom. That can create some time. So that's what I mean by that when we show that. Market potential, it's pretty huge. We talk about an industry in transition. And I want to talk about this later in my training, but if you look at the bottle, does anybody have a bottle of water that I can borrow? No? Okay. The bottled water industry. Somebody just figured out a different way to put water into the market and sell it. Thank you. Appreciate that, Lisa. So this is nice, isn't it?
Oh, yeah.
Who would have thought we would have been paying for it? Yeah. But somebody made it safe, convenient, right? Peace of mind, easy to use, save me time, save me money, opportunity to be able to have water available. And it became $1 trillion industry.
That's right.
Somebody figured out how to transition the industry and deliver water a different way. Ladies and gentlemen, that's what we did with legal and identity theft. We figured out a more efficient way to deliver legal services into the market. Therefore, and guess what? The market is so primed. In fact, the market will always be ready. In fact, the market gets riper and riper every time. Is that the right English? More ripe? I don't know. See, I grew up on the farm. It's just amazing what we have out there. The market, Decision Analyst, a company, they did a bunch of research for us. Same company that does research for like Johnson & Johnson and a lot of huge Fortune 500 companies. They did work for us, and they figured out that 7 million people would purchase the plan like right now if they just knew about it. They're ready. They're ready to purchase this. They just don't know about it. I didn't know about it. Had I known about it 10 years ago, I would have had 10 years ago. But I didn't know about it until Sally told me. And I'm so glad she did. So you may be the only link between somebody that needs this plan and the information. And if you're the only link, then don't you think you might want to just give them a DVD or send them to a website? You don't have to sell them. Just show them the information. Because that's all we do. We share information. So just amazing stats here that this decision analyst came up with. Nearly 90% of Americans say they don't have any form of this type of protection. When over in Europe, many people do. When I say little competition, no company out there is taking identity theft and legal and marrying them. And no other legal company out there is actually going into the homes of individual families and helping them individually, like we are. And this is what we call our wheel of opportunity. It's a multifaceted company. You know what I love about our company? If I don't want to recruit, you know that word recruit, if I don't want to go out and build an organization, like some of these other companies just depend on, like many companies out there you're going to come across, and I know we all have, they depend on recruiting. If you're not recruiting, you're not making money. You do not want to join a company that if you're not recruiting, you're not making any money. Because what if Sally doesn't find Bob, find Bill, find Jan? What if that doesn't happen? Then you don't make any money. We have a company that can stand solely on the product. Proven product. That right there is a clue. That's a clue that we have a professional product, a company that's gone somewhere, that's stood the test of time, a company that I want to invest my time in. Because if I don't like people and I don't want to build an organization, I can go out and just do group marketing or small business. I can just go out and help small business owners. Help a lot of people in this plant individually. But if I do want to build an organization, I go out and find insurance companies, insurance agents, real estate agents, mortgage professionals, and they can offer to their clients who need wills anyway, right? And need these services. So I can build a massive organization of energy going out there sharing this with other people. So it's just a multifaceted, that's a good thing. That's what you want in a good business model. And again, we have different things that we use. DVDs, websites. I stopped at a gas station one day, and there was a guy there pumping his gas. He had a real hot black sports car. And I was pumping gas next to him, and I was like, hey, nice car. Well, people like when you compliment their stuff, because it was a nice car. It was nicer than mine. And he's like, thanks. So we got to talking just a little bit. I asked him what he did, and he gave me his business card. I gave him mine. Very non-confrontational, very easy conversation, just talk a little bit, right? I said, before he left, I said, hey, Dennis, do you have a CD player in your car? Loaded question, right? Yeah, I do. Hold on a second. I went back to my car, pulled it out of the trunk, gave him a CD with Dave Savula on it, one of our top money. That's the last time I saw Dennis. Still haven't seen Dennis today. But he went on his way, right? He calls me up the following spring, and he says, hey, Dave, this is Dennis. He left a message. He's like, hey, we met at that convenience store, pumping gas. You gave me that CD. I was on my way to Connecticut to put my car in storage for the winter. And he's like, I left the CD in the car over the winter. And I listened to it on the way up, but I forgot about it. And I listened to it on the way back down to Pennsylvania. He's like, I want that legal thing you offer, and I want the identity theft. He's like, I don't want to do your business. I'm not interested in the business, but I want the legal service. So I got on the phone, called him back, took him to my website. We got websites, DVDs, got all kinds of cool tools. And in 15 minutes, I made $252 because that's part of our commission structure, simply for helping him get a $35 plan.
Right.
I didn't have to sell him. I never even met him yet. I mean, I haven't met him since, because it's all online. So we have business briefings like we're doing right now. Bring somebody out, let them see the information. Well, I'm not going to make them drink the Kool-Aid. The door's right there. It's not for them. It's not for them. If the answer is no, the answer is no, and I mean that. And the other presenters that we have in this market, they're going to treat your guests the same way I'm going to treat them. So bring them out and let them see. This is as you watch the compensation part of this, a guy named Bob is going to explain this to you.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Keep an open mind, okay? Understand that you can build an organization, you can do direct sales, you can just go out and call on businesses. There's different facets of our company as you watch this, so keep that in mind. He's going to explain the money.
At Legalshield, we're creating a world where everyone can access legal protection and everyone can afford it. Thousands of people are sharing this powerful Legalshield mission through their own independent businesses. If this opportunity appeals to you, you're probably wondering, how exactly will I make money with Legalshield? Meet Bob. Bob's like you. He loves the product, and he's excited to launch his future with Legalshield. Bob's already a Legalshield member, so now all he has to do is make a small investment of $149 to sign up as a junior associate. Now Bob's part of the company. He can sell his first membership, perhaps to a friend, neighbor, family member, or local business person. Bob's initial investment also gives him instant access to all kinds of exclusive training, tools, and support to help him succeed with Legalshield. As soon as Bob sells just one membership, something great happens. Now he qualifies for excellent discounts and deals from some top international brands who've partnered with Legalshield. By taking advantage of these benefits, Bob can save money and make his Legalshield business even more profitable. And what's more, owning his own business may give him some tax advantages too. Now Bob heard about something called Fast Start Qualification, and he wants to go for it. During your first month, Fast Start Qualification helps you jumpstart your new business by earning more money faster and moving up in the Legalshield compensation plan. Fast Start Qualification works on a point system. For each new membership you sell, you get 1 point. For each new associate you recruit, you get 2 points. To Fast Start Qualify, you just need to earn 5 points during your first 30 days with Legalshield. So Bob steps up his efforts and spreads the word about Legalshield. He has 3 options for earning his 5 Fast Start Qualification points. Option 1. Bob sells a total of 5 memberships. Just like that, he's now Fast Start Qualified. Option 2. Bob sells 3 memberships, and then one of Bob's new members decides to do what he did and start her own Legalshield business. Bob's now Fast Start Qualified. Option 3. Bob sells 2 memberships, and both of these new members also sign up as associates to launch their own Legalshield businesses. That's all it takes for Bob to Fast Start Qualify. Now here's the key to achieving success with Legalshield. Not only is earning 5 points how you get Fast Start Qualified, but continuing to earn at least 5 points every month is how you build real momentum with Legalshield. For one thing, with 5 points in a calendar month, Bob now also qualifies in the Legalshield Performance Club. As long as Bob keeps earning at least 5 points every month and meeting some other requirements, he'll get extra cash bonuses at months 3 and 6. Then, at month 12, a bigger bonus kicks in that keeps paying every month. If Bob chooses, this can even be a car bonus. That's right, Bob can get himself a BMW and Legalshield will pay him $500 a month toward it. Earn just 5 points every month with Legalshield. If you do this consistently, your business will keep growing. And whenever you earn more than 5 points in a month, you can carry over up to 5 extra points to the next month. So now let's see what Bob gets paid for his Fast Start Qualification. Legalshield pays associates in several ways. For starters, every time Bob signs up a new member, he gets paid a personal sales advance. We call it an advance because you're getting your commission now, based on the monthly fees your new member will pay during his or her first year. Legalshield offers several membership plans, so let's see what happens with just one plan. The $35.95 combination membership includes both legal services and identity protection. As a junior associate, Bob gets $34.57 for each combination membership he sells. Plus, he gets an additional $34.57 per membership because he Fast Start Qualified. So, if Bob Fast Start Qualified with option 1, that means he sold 5 memberships. His total personal sales advance comes to $345.70. If Bob Fast Start Qualified with option 2, he gets paid for selling 3 memberships, which totals $207.42. But hold on. Remember that in option 2, another exciting thing happened. One of Bob's new members decided to become an associate like him. Here's where the Legalshield compensation plan really gets impressive. Whenever Bob's new associate sells a membership, Bob gets paid a team override advance. An override is simply a commission you get paid on someone else's sale. When Bob Fast Start Qualified, he gave himself a promotion from junior associate to associate. As an associate, Bob's team override advance is $34.57. He gets paid this even if he's never met his associate's new member. So, if Bob Fast Start Qualified with option 3, he gets paid for selling 2 memberships, which totals $138.28. Both of these members signed up as associates too, so when either of them sells a membership, Bob gets the team override advance of $34.57. The more memberships they sell during their Legalshield career, the more override advances Bob gets. Can you see the potential here? Now,
When Bob advanced from junior associate to associate, he also gave himself a raise on his personal sales advance. Whenever Bob sells a new membership, he now gets paid $103.71. That's $34.57 more than he got as a fast start qualified junior associate. Let's see what happens if Bob keeps working his Legalshield business every month. As his business grows and he meets qualifications, Bob rises through the compensation plan's levels. From associate, he jumps to senior associate, then manager, director, executive director, and beyond. Notice how his payouts increase with each level he rises. Now here's something else about the team overrides. They're cumulative. Say Bob has reached the director level. When Bob signs up a new associate and that junior associate sells a new membership, Bob gets all these overrides. If one of Bob's associates has progressed to, say, senior associate, and this senior associate signs up a new junior associate who then sells a membership, the senior associate gets these overrides. And Bob gets these overrides. Now you know what we mean by network marketing. Are you impressed? Bob sure is. Guess what? There's another way you get paid by Legalshield. In addition to personal sales, team overrides, and incentives like the Performance Club, you also get residual income. After the first 12 months of advance commissions are earned on the memberships you've sold, you continue to receive monthly commissions on your members who stay active, as long as you keep your own membership active. We call this residual income because it sticks around for a long time. You can even will these ongoing commissions to your loved ones. Now, you'll want to build your Legalshield business carefully and make sure your members understand the long-term value of Legalshield. Why? Because the more of your memberships that stay active, the higher your residual income percentage will be. And here's what's great. You'll earn residual income not only on your own memberships, but also on memberships sold by other associates in your organization. So now you have the basic overview of how you make money with Legalshield. In addition, Legalshield offers contests and promotions with exclusive reward trips to exotic locations. If you have any questions about the Legalshield compensation plan, talk to your Legalshield associate. Now the question is, how much do you want to earn with Legalshield, and how fast can you make it happen? Earn a part-time income, a full-time income, or beyond. If you haven't already, sign up as a Legalshield associate right now. Get yourself trained and start spreading the word. Remember, Legalshield is here to support you every step of the way. Congratulations on your new Legalshield business.
Basically the way this works, if somebody makes an investment to get started with our company in our referral program, become their own associate, independent associate, one time $149 fee, and then they get an $89 refund as soon as after one sale. Is it one sale, one recruit?
One sale.
Just one sale.
Yep.
So, you know, mom and dad need a will, brother, sister, need, one. Just help one family get the plan, and we're going to give you the $89 back. So your initial startup is a lot less. Plus, you're going to get paid the commission on that sale. So we can get you in profit mode immediately. Typically, it takes an average business about 5 years to get into profit mode. And we can show you how to do that within your first few days, or first day, really. So there's your $60 net startup. It's amazing. This is just stats. Over $1 billion has been paid to associates over the last 10 years. More than 1,000 of us are earning between $50,000 and $100,000 a year, and many are earning between $100,000 and $1 million per year, depending on their tenure, depending on their sphere of influence, or where they're at in their career, what their goals are too, because everybody has different goals. A lot of times when we start working with new individuals in our business model, their goal is just to simply make an extra $1,000 a month. The average household wouldn't go bankrupt if they had an extra $400 a month coming in income.
That's right.
So we like, as associates, we want to support and train you. We want to help you be successful, and we're here to meet you where you're at. Okay, does that make sense? If your goal is this, then we'll help you meet your goal. If your goal is this, then we're going to put a little more time into it. Okay, we want to be realistic with you. This isn't a get rich quick.